my pleasure. We created a new partnership this year, and I'm not going to tell you about it. I'm going to ask a couple of our members to tell you about it. One member is somebody I go back more years than I even care to talk about. Even though we're not the same age, we were superintendents together for a long, long time. Our other member is just doing amazing things in the City School District of Schenectady. It's my pleasure to introduce our Schenectady City Superintendent, Anibal Solar, and a superintendent from the Shenendehowa Central School District, Oliver Robinson. Welcome to the stage.
Good morning, colleagues. It's good to see everyone here bright and early. I know everyone had a different bedtime last night, so glad to see you here. Hopefully you left inspired after the words of Manny Scott and that of, excuse me, President Andrews. So I think Chuck introduced me, but for those of you who don't know me, my name is Anibal Soler. I'm superintendent of Schenectady City Schools. I come before you with some deep gratitude and some remarks on the impetus of an important initiative as part of the Commission on Diversity and Inclusivity. I'm joined on stage by my good brother, my Capital Region coach, Dr. L. Oliver Robinson, superintendent of Shenendehowa Central Schools. But I'd be remiss to continue my remarks without recognizing the contributions of many pioneers in this work across New York State. So if you're in the audience, would you please indulge me in just standing and being recognized as an important part of this work on diversity and inclusivity in New York. Dr. Deborah Wortham, Dr. Lorna Lewis, Dr. Lavelle Brown, Dr. Aurelia Enriquez, Dr. Dupree Chase, Dr. Roberto Padilla, and anybody else who's been a part of the Diversity and Inclusivity Commission that I may have left out. I first want to apologize if I left you out, but I do want to give these individuals a round of applause if they've put a lot of work. I know as a Latino superintendent, I would not be here without the courageous efforts of those, and I truly believe that I stand on the shoulders of giants. In 2017, I was fortunate enough to attend my first ever Diversity and Inclusivity Committee. To think it's been over 6 years that this work has been going on. At the time, I was fortunate to meet Dr. Lavelle Brown. His culture of love was in full effect. He was superintendent of Ithaca Central Schools. And at the event, I heard Dr. Brown say something that was validated yesterday by one of our speakers. He said, "We're responsible for the makeup of this room." Again, we are responsible for the makeup of this room. And on this day, I learned more about the Commission's commitment to cultivating diversity among superintendents and supporting school districts across the state of New York to provide diverse and equitable communities. Yesterday, I heard the words of our leader, a man I admire, President Dr. Jason Andrews. He spoke about the high number of superintendents exiting the role, and that leadership is complex and it is ultimately challenging. He spoke about if we don't do nothing, then nothing changes. People will say we can't or we shouldn't live up to the promise of all is Aniscus. He said clearly, we need more leadership. We need each other. Be like a bison. He said, charge forward through the storm, facing it head on, and the faster you face it, the quicker adversity will overcome. He stated, we need to function like the herd, a herd of support. He spoke of courageous leadership and how we must use our influence to challenge how things are and where we should be headed. My leadership journey to the superintendency made me think about this, made me think about what it means to be audacious in 2023. The need to create intentional opportunities to shift and change the paradigm for leaders of color in New York State. So I'll fast forward to more recently. I approached our executive director, Chuck Dietrich, and I asked him directly, would Niscus have the audacity to lead this initiative? Without hesitation and confidently, he said, absolutely. This is the work of the Commission. Now, that brings me here to today to announce a strategic partnership with the Institute for Education Innovation and CEO Doug Roberts that will provide us with a support system, because I'm reminded often by Chuck that he only has 12 people that work for him. Oh, with you, I'm sorry. And launching pad for an effort to grow the next generation of leaders of color within New York State. President Andrews posted this quote yesterday. I don't know if you saw my notes or not, but I do want to revisit it. Muhammad Ali once stated, "He who is not courageous enough to take risks will accomplish nothing in life." With that, I offer you an open invitation to all of you in the audience. If you're a leader of color, if you're an ally to leaders of color, please consider joining me later today at 1 p.m. in the Saratoga Hilton boardroom so we can discuss, brainstorm, and think about what we need to do to change the trajectory of other leaders of color in our districts. My hope is that we create intentional opportunities for us to improve the number of leaders of color in our state. There are only about 6% of us. Think about that, 6% of us, when the makeup of our students is vastly different. We deserve to give our kids leaders who reflect their growing diversity. I'm going to now shift to my good brother, Dr. Oliver Robinson.
Yeah, that's it. Perfect.
Dr. Oliver L. Robinson. We were joking that the L is really for Lavelle, but he doesn't show it.
So I appreciate that, and I am the taller version of the two of us. And I would, he dresses nicer, but I think I still look better. So on a very serious note, just to put Annabelle's comments into some context, because I think it's important, right? Certainly, this is my 23rd year as superintendent, and I'm always astonished that even in those years, we still have a very drop in the bucket when you think about the diversification of superintendents in the state of New York. And so I say this because I know that there's someone sitting in this audience right now that's feeling a bit uneasy, and if you do, that's good. That's a good feeling, because it's saying that you're starting to interrogate your own thinking in terms of what else can I do to help move this work forward. And I'm going to put in further context. When you think about what we're trying to do as educators, we're trying to foster and facilitate environments where every young person has an unwavering sense of significance and distinctiveness. The two words, significant, they feel significant and they're proud of who they are as individuals and not trying to, as we often say, perpetrate a fraud to be someone else, to fit in, to get along, to go along, to get along. So when you think about that, I'm going to take it a step further, that two of the greatest gifts that we can give our students is, one, the ability to learn how to learn. That's what we do every day. We try to teach kids to learn how to learn, and having that sagacious appetite, if you will, and that thirst for knowledge. The second piece is giving them that true sense of significance, as I mentioned before. And that only comes when we create an environment where the personhood of our young people, they know it matters and it adds value. And so when you think about what we do, that's what we're doing. The question then is, can we do that better? Can we do that better? And just a little segue, my role model in education still, God bless her soul, Dr. F.C. Greer, my high school principal. And she used to tell us this thing. We used to get on, it doesn't matter if we're going to academic games or athletics, she'd get on the bus. I grew up in South Florida, it's always hot as heck. She always wore a Letterman jacket with the pins of everything we won, she has on her jacket. She'll walk on the bus and she'd say, okay, boys, if we're going to a football game, okay, boys, kick butts and take names. And she'll start walking off and she'll turn around, nah, don't take names, just kick their behinds. And so I say that to you because that's the attitude I had as a young person, and that's the attitude I bring to the job. But she brought something different to me. She represented something that looked like me, understood me, somewhere that I didn't have to pretend to be someone else. So I bring that into context because certainly the work that we're trying to do with the commission is to try to make sure that we talk about culture responsive environment, trying to negate biases and discriminatory actions within our schools. Yes, we're doing those type things. But what Annabelle has described today is about how do we have true representation? And that power of representation is so important in our schools. And I know in my school district, Shenandoah, when I walk into a space, first of all, when I walk into a space, it just goes crazy, and I'm like a rock star. I'm just joking. But when I walk into a space and a little young black girl or black boy see my face, I got to tell you, they have a whole different look. They have a whole different look. And oftentimes people say, wow, you should come around more often. And I was like, no, I can't come around more often. We just need more people in our spaces so our young people can come alive. And so some of you may not think about it because think about it. Your whole lifestyle, your whole environment been people who look like you. So you have no idea what it feels like to be in a space where no one looks like you. And that's the interesting thing. I really want people to take that step back. And so this is not a black and white thing. This is about how can we be better for our kids? How can we be better for our community? How can we be better for society? And especially nowadays with the gross ideological, political ideologies that we have a bigger responsibility. So that's what this initiative is about. We no longer can have excuses that we can't find black candidates. Now we have to create the avenues. We have to be intentional about the avenues. We have to support those little kids in our classroom so they too should say, send me, I'll go to be the next educator. Send me, I'll go to be the next leader. But if we're not creating those environments, guess what? They won't come. They won't go. So this is on all of us. This is on all of us. So I appreciate Annabelle for pushing the envelope. I appreciate Chuck for saying, yes, I'm a part of it. And I trust all of you. All of you will be a part of it in your own special ways. Because at the end of the day, folks, that's why we're in this business. Jason said it all must mean all. And it's not even about being audacious. It's about simple, as Manny Scott said, you all have the power, just the way you are. So I really appreciate your time and attention. And I want this movement is going to make New York even more special than this, because truly we're going to have those who lead are going to reflect the color of those who we lead. Thank you very much. Thank you.